Welcome to our show. I'm Raquel.
I'm Jake.
And this is
Don't You Know?
What shall we do first? The podcast, or should we do updates in our own personal lives?
What new listeners do we have? That's what I want to know.
Okay, let me double check. I forgot to check this morning to make sure that we didn't have any other new ones.
Well, we're off to a great start.
I know that we do have a couple new countries, which is awesome. We have, one of them is Honduras.
Honduras. Very nice. Welcome aboard.
Another one is Portugal.
Portugal. Very cool.
And then we have a new state, which is Texas.
Texas. Very nice.
Yep. And the standings is California is in the lead for most downloads. We start a new month. And Georgia is not even on here, Jacob.
Well, I apologize on behalf of my state. I can trash
And
talk
yourself.
them because we know that they're not listening.
So, that's what's going on with the podcast. Yeah, I think that's it.
What about updates with your life?
So, on Saturday I went karaoke.
Karaoke? What songs did you sing? Was this like a bar karaoke or was this like a karaoke joint karaoke?
It's the karaoke place that we went to when you came out here.
Okay, so yeah, we went and rented a room.
Yeah, my aunt really liked it when we went. And so for my uncle's 70th birthday, she rented a room. And we did karaoke with the family. So, and I sang, let's see, what did I sing? We had to pick a 70s song.
A 70s song? You don't even know any 70s songs, do you?
I sang Pretty Fly for a White Guy.
That's my song. That's like my jam. They wrote that about me. Is that 70s though?
It's late 70s. Are you?
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
Okay. Well, according to the app, it said it was late 70s. So,
according to the internet, it was released in 1998. So...
Well, wait, no. I didn't play that one. I played, I did karaoke for, not Pretty Fly for a White Guy, Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Ah, that's a very different song.
they still talk about white guys.
Yeah, Wild Cherry, Play That Funky Music, and that was released in 1976. Okay, I believe that.
Oops, sorry. Moving on.
Well, very cool.
Yeah, and then I sang Playing God by Paramore.
Nice.
And I realized I really did not know the lyrics for that song like I thought I did.
Always fun.
Yes.
I do that sometimes when I'm singing a song. That's why I like some songs and I want to sing them at like bar karaoke's, but then I'm like, I don't actually know the words to this. I just kind of sing my own version. And I know that, which, you know.
Or you only know the chorus, and you only
Yeah.
know like a part of the chorus that you think you know, and then you see it come up on like the karaoke thing, and you're like, oh, that was not the words I was singing. And now I can't keep on beat because it's not the words that I sing and I'm lost.
I can't remember what song it was, but there was one song where I liked the lyric that I misheard better than the actual lyric. It was like the way that I heard it was like pretty cool because I think it was, I don't remember the song, but it was a pretty cool lyric. And then I finally heard the lyric and it was the opposite of what I thought. Like I thought it was like sarcastic kind of irony, like, oh, here it is what it is, but I'm still tough, so I'm going to take it or whatever. But then it was actually like, he was just complaining. And I was like, are you for real? Like, I thought you were like making a play on words to do this, but no, you're actually just crying about this thing. Lame. But when the lyrics are on screen at karaoke, you really don't get a chance to sing your own because it distracts you.
I think too is we didn't really have a big room either, so we were all kind of in a small room, and people were getting up and down, and I was sitting in the back because I got pushed to the back. And so some of the songs, I know that one, and I think there was another song I was singing that I was having problems singing it because I didn't really know like the lyrics, and so I was trying to like look around people as I was singing because they kept getting up and down. And it's like, sit down already.
Oh, I see.
And then I sang Rock Show by Blink-182 with my cousin, and she was like, you were singing too fast. And I was like, well, for one, people were getting up and down and they were yelling, so I couldn't really hear the music that well. And then also I had Jim next to me attempting to sing along to this song, he doesn't know, so he's just reading the lyrics, and that was throwing me off because it wasn't on like melody because he was just reading the lyrics.
Right.
And it's like it was just way too distracting. It was just too much. It was a lot of fun still. It just was like I don't know. I didn't like where I was sitting. It was just too much distraction. Too much yelling. It would have been a lot funner if we were in a bigger room. It just felt kind of cramped. So, but we didn't pick the room.
Did you all bring all the food like you did last time?
Yeah, there was tons of food.
Nice.
It was great. I made like 64 pigs in a blanket.
Wow.
I went home with like 3.
That's a lot of pigs.
Yeah, but it was only like $10, so it was pretty good. Because it was buy one get one free on what I do is I get the little like I think they're wieners, little sausage. They're not sausage though. The ones I get are all beef.
Oh yeah.
And that packet usually has about 32. And so then I go and get the croissants in a can.
Yeah.
And that has 8, and I split them in half, so that's 16. So I get 2 cans for 1 bag. And when I went, it was buy one get one free. So I got 4 cans of croissants and 2 bags, and then I went and bought 2 bags of the little wieners. So 64 total. And had like 3 left over. They really liked it, so it's good. And then that was really it. I had a really lazy day on Sunday. It was awesome. I did nothing. Did absolutely nothing. I don't even think I changed out my pajamas. It was great.
Nice.
And I have some stuff, TV shows wise, but I'm gonna wait because I want to hear about how your week was.
My week, what did I do? I played a lot of a game called Vagante, and I think I'm going to record a little bit of that. It's like a little side-scroller game where you jump around. It's really difficult. You like die in one hit sometimes, and yeah, it's pretty fun.
A potential for Rocky doesn't game?
Maybe, because I think you can play it online, but it's not free. It might be like $10. I'm not sure, but I was just gonna record a little 30-minute video of myself playing it. So that might come out pretty soon. You can check out my channel, shameless self-plug, Space Missile, YouTube. And then yeah, we've been playing a lot of VR. You mentioned karaoke. We've been doing Beat Saber, which is a virtual reality game where you slash boxes with lightsabers to the beat of your favorite songs. It's pretty fun. We've been doing a lot of different ones. Sometimes you get into it, you do a little dancing. That's always fun.
Whenever I come over, I wanna play that game.
Yeah,
it sounds
sure.
like fun.
Anytime. It's
Need
pretty
to dodge
good.
like walls.
Maybe we can do. Yeah, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's way cooler. As in any VR game, they're way better in the headset than they are in real life, or watching on a screen. Because I'll be watching like some games and I'm watching on a screen, I'm like, yeah, whatever. And then I go in and I'm just like amazed at just how cool it is again. So if you ever get the chance to do VR, it's really good. Not you specifically, but the listeners, because I know you've done it.
I haven't done the Beat Sabers, but I have done VR once.
You've done VR in general.
We're actually going to do a VR maze thing when my little brother comes out.
Oh, nice.
He's coming to visit this weekend. The following weekend, we're going to go do a VR maze.
Nice.
So that should be fun. So that won't be on the next podcast either, because it'll be after the fact.
Yeah, I'll be excited to hear all about it.
Anything else going on with you?
What else is going on with me? Nothing really. Just working on budgeting, and I refinanced a loan. But that's not exciting.
Saving up for Japan.
Yeah, right. No, saving up for trying not to starve. No, I'm just teasing. No, yeah, just things are kind of just same old.
Is that why you skipped lunch?
No, I skipped lunch because I was just working. Yeah, nothing too much. Just gaming, hanging out, doing some different stuff. Obviously, Halloween was recently. That was kind of fun.
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about Halloween? We haven't talked about Halloween since Halloween.
We talked about Halloween on the last episode.
We did, didn't we?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, did we?
Did we? Maybe not.
It's.
Oh, we haven't talked about it yet. I don't know. I didn't do much on Halloween, honestly.
I went downtown.
What did I do on a Halloween? I didn't think I do. No, I went to bed early that night, I think.
Wow, you're getting old.
Yeah, I think it was, I had stayed up really late putting out the Halloween episode. I was getting all that stuff set up. And I was also doing something else too. I think we recorded that night as well.
You suffered for the art.
Yeah, I was doing a whole bunch of stuff, so I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep well Wednesday night, and so come Thursday, after doing overtime, I was like, just let me go to sleep. So I went to bed. And I think I had a headache too.
Well, I'm sorry that you missed out. Mine was pretty low-key. Don't you know, you cannot set up Christmas decorations until after Thanksgiving. That is not allowed. I just got a text about that, and a friend that I need to see is not available because that friend is setting up Christmas decorations with her mother, and that is unacceptable. 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 All right, sorry.
Some people like to have decorations up for when people come over for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, some people should invest in fall decorations, like a little turkey and some orange and yellow leaves and maybe a cornucopia. But if I see a jingle bell, I'm going to crush that jingle bell, and it's never going to jingle again. That's how I feel.
Guess what my aunt made us sing at karaoke? Everyone sing.
Was it Jingle Bells?
Yes.
I would have stormed out out of spite. And if she's listening, I disagree with her vehemently.
I think it was because she couldn't think of any Thanksgiving songs that we could all sing.
To be fair, the market isn't very wide for Thanksgiving songs. All right.
It's only one day of the year, whereas Christmas is 2 months, basically.
Christmas is not 2 months. Christmas is 12 days. We have a song about that. All right, sorry to derail this. Oh, we were talking...
Wait until we do our Thanksgiving episode, Jacob. If I decide we're going to do one. No, I'm just kidding. I know how passionate you are about Thanksgiving.
Today, why don't we? We'll just do 2 months of Christmas episodes. I'm sorry. I'm really just wound up right now. I've had a very busy night.
Okay, let's talk about TV shows so we can get into our interesting topic today, which I'm pretty excited about.
Okay, TV shows. I've been watching a lot of Friends recently.
Lame. Let's go into mine. I'm just kidding.
You can't lame me. I guess you could literally just edit me out. Friends
they don't want to hear about this.
More interesting of a show than I realized, and it's pretty intense. And I think Ross is a bad guy. I think he is. I think he's a crybaby, and I think he's irrational, and I think he's just causes his own drama and makes his own problems, and it's all his fault.
Kind of like Ted Mosby?
Yeah, I've heard that too. Ted Mosby's terrible as well.
I really like How I Met Your Mother, and I think Ted Mosby is like a really kind of like nice guy, but I think he's exactly like you said, where he's almost like every decision he ever makes is kind of like self-destruction.
And he's entitled. He thinks he deserves it. You don't deserve nothing, Ted. All you deserve is what you earn. No, I'm just teasing. I honestly haven't watched much How I Met Your Mother. Just a few episodes here and there. I'm just going off a cracked video I saw from a long time ago. It wasn't a cracked video. It was a Small Beans video. I misspoke because Michael Swaim, bless his heart, is not with Cracked anymore. He's doing his own thing, and it's fantastic. So check out Small Beans if you want.
And what little bit I've seen of Friends, it does seem like Ross is like a crybaby and whiny and self-destructive, and I don't really like him either. So
I mean, there might be a character redemption arc. I don't know.
I don't think I've actually ever seen a Friends episode all the way through.
No, I'm good. We're on like season 4 right now, I think. We're getting along. I don't watch every episode, but sometimes episodes just play. What about you? What are you watching?
Well, kind of been watching 2 different things. No, 3. I didn't talk about this one.
You're watching 3 different things.
No, I finished one, but I thought I had talked about it on the last episode, but I didn't. So, the one I finished is called My Teenage Romance or something like that.
My Teenage Romance. I want to say I've heard of that.
It's an anime. Now. And, It's
an anime.
It's an anime? It's my... No, what is...
My teen romantic comedy?
It's called My Love Life. That's right. No,
this is bringing up a lot of stuff. I'm going to type in anime. My Love Life anime. My Love Story?
My Love Story, that's right. I was I don't remember what the name of this thing is called.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, so I watched it.
It's also called Ore Monogatari, apparently.
Yeah, that's because that's the Japanese title.
What is this guy's art style?
So what it is this guy is like, basically he looks like a gorilla.
He kind of does.
Yeah, and his best friend is like really, really good looking. And he's a really nice guy, even though he looks like a gorilla. And all the girls he's ever likes his best friend because his best friend is like Prince Charming.
Is he the guy with the blonde hair?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the gorilla is our protagonist?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And so what he ends up doing is he saves this girl from a groper on the bus. Not the bus, the train. And she kind of inserts herself into their lives. she first kind of bakes them a cake for, like, as a thank you. She forgets her phone at his house, and, like, so they all meet up. And he's so used to all the girls he likes liking his best friend that he thinks that she likes his best friend. So he has committed himself to helping her date his best friend, because his best friend has always turned down every girl who has shown him any interest.
So the gorilla's best friends with the blonde hair guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought she was dating the blonde hair guy. He assumes she wants to date the blonde hair guy, but she actually wants to date him. But he's helping to hook her up with the blonde hair guy.
Yeah.
But he can't take a hint? Like, I've seen one picture of this, and she's staring at him with loaded eyes. She wants his eyebrows, man. She wants those eyebrows.
Here's the thing about this. Okay, this is going to be a big spoiler, but it's a spoiler that happens within, like, the first 2 episodes. Okay, so you obviously see where the story's going. They end up together, right? That's obvious, right?
Well, yeah, of course. It's a TV show. Of course, the hero is going to get the girl.
So, well, I mean, even just looking at this, you can, like, kind of tell. So, hearing this plot of the story, you can kind of just tell. So you're thinking, okay, so this whole series is going to be about them kind of blundering through and then eventually getting together, right?
Right, of course.
No.
What is it about?
In the very first 2 episodes, they get together.
In the first 2 episodes. Okay, so what's the rest of the show?
The rest of the show is just basically their love story. Kind of different things that they go through. Her going through jealousy because to her, he's this hunky guy that all the girls want, even though no one does.
Right.
They have to get through, the fact that he's like a really big gentleman and they're both super, super awkward. So there's this moment where she wants to hold his hand and he's such a gentleman. He's all like, I'm not going to touch you ever. Wow. So there's this awkward like thing where she thinks that holding hands would make him think that she's impure for wanting to hold his hand.
Well, holding hands is very lewd. I mean, there's nothing wholesome about holding hands.
And so it's just really like, it's really funny because they're really awkward together.
Holding hands basically says, I want to rub my sweaty palm all over your sweaty palm. And that is so gross, and I would never support that.
And then what ends up happening is they do end up holding hands, but it's like super awkward. It's not just kind of like reach over and hold hands. It's like this awkward like dance that they end up doing, twisting around. And then finally like, okay, our hands are entwined properly. It's just...
Well.
Let's see. So that's what I watch. Another show I've been watching, which is really good, is called Dark Web. It's on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
It is like super confusing. It is about these 3 high school, these not high schools, but 3 adults. They're in their 30s. And this one girl that they used to go to high school with ends up emailing them these weird stories and come to find out she's in trouble and needs help and blah, 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 blah. So now these people who haven't talked to her in 12 years have to try to go and help and find her. And what makes it really kind of confusing and interesting, what is interesting about this is the stories, they're like really dark and they all have kind of like a hacker kind of programming vibe to them.
Okay.
And the stories have clues of where she is, or like clues of where they should be going and stuff like that. But the way that they do the story is the actors or whatever, they don't just like read the story out loud or whatever. They actually kind of like do that, like actually have the story part of the video. Like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's actually like, it almost is kind of hard to tell where where the story is ending and the actual show is starting. Or
I see.
Coming in. Like, they actually play out the story. So there's no, like, narration or whatever.
Okay.
It's just the story.
Interesting.
And then it cuts back to the actual people.
The actual people. That's kind of cool.
So, yeah. So it's very interesting. It has a lot of kind of mysterious to it, thriller kind of feel to it. But like I said, it can be kind of confusing because there is like importance to the stories, and you can't just simply watch the stories. You have to kind of pay attention to the details because they have to use the details to figure out clues to how to find this person. So, like, if you're not really paying attention, then they're like, oh, blah, 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 and they're doing this, and you're like, wait, what? How did you find that out? And it's like, well, because it was in the detail of the story. It was pretty good.
Nice.
And then the other thing I'm watching is actually I'm rewatching for the 3rd time, and it is Maid-sama. I love it so much. It came on Netflix. They just put it on Netflix. It makes me so happy. So I started watching it again.
Nice. And what's that one about, you said?
Maid Sama is about this girl. She goes to a co-ed high school, but this co-ed high school used to be a boys-only school. So now this school has mostly boys because it has always been a
transitioned
boys'
over.
school. So, yeah.
It's a boys' school that opened up to girls, basically.
Yeah, exactly.
That first round of girls had better be tough. That's all I'm saying.
She's actually really tough. She doesn't like the guys at all. Part of it is because her dad left her and her sister and her mom, and left also with a huge chunk of debt. So she's poor.
Poor, she's got daddy issues.
Yeah, so she doesn't like any of the guys, and so what she does is she ends up taking, like, Aikido, a form of martial arts.
Yeah, it's from Serbia.
Yeah, and studying hard and all that stuff, and she becomes the student council president. And so, basically,
Nice.
she stands up for the girls, but then hates on the guys and all this other stuff, so you have all that. But, since her family's broke, she ends up having to get a part-time job. Where she gets a part-time job is as a maid for a maid cafe.
I have to correct myself. It's not from Serbia. Apparently the video I watched was Serbian Aikido dojo, but it originated in Japan around the 14th century.
I was going to say, I don't think it was Serbia, but I wasn't quite positive, so I'm just going to play
along. A long time
along.
ago, and they're like, Serbian Aikido, and I was like, okay, cool, and they're flipping guys all over the place with, like, knives and stuff, and I was like, that was pretty cool. I just thought it was from Serbia. No, it's from Japan. It looks pretty.
Yeah,
it's
I would
all
like
about
to
like
learn.
transferring body weight. But I have heard it critiqued that they say that I've heard it say that if you don't know Aikido and you don't go along with it, you both just kind of crash to the ground. It's really ugly. It's not like the demonstrations.
Oh, dang, that sucks.
And
Okay.
like you don't see a lot of Aikido in like mixed martial arts. So that kind of says something, I think. But maybe you do, and I'm not as versed as I'm saying. Sorry, carry on, please.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so she has to get a job as a maid at a maid cafe because it works with her schedule and it's the one that pays the best. So, of course, that means she's got to wait on guys and be nice to them all day. So it like kind of ruins her image. So, short story, one of the guys, actually it ends up being a few after a while, but it originally starts off with one of the guys finding out she's a maid at this maid cafe, and she's like, oh no, my life is over, and he ends up, of course, falling in love with her and kind of follows her around, basically, and she's all like, I hate guys, I hate you, leave me alone. And it's great, I love it, and I realized, because I really like this show, and I really like Iran's High School Host Club, and I was like, what makes some of these, and I don't usually watch a lot of older stuff, and I was like, what makes these animes so good still? And I realized that generation of anime, like comedy, they do these things where like they almost break like the fourth wall kind of thing, which are kind of cheesy now, which is probably why they don't really do it. But they have like little like question marks appear, or like they'll have like, if they're talking about someone, the face, if they're in the background, like you can't see them in the shot, they'll have like their face pop up in like the corner, like a little tiny like bubble. So it like breaks the fourth wall kind of thing.
That's funny.
But to me, it just adds. But I can see how it would probably be kind of, what's the word? I said it earlier and I can't think of what the word is now.
Immersion breaking?
No. Not immersion breaking. It'd be kind of seem, cheesy now.
Well, different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. So I really enjoy it. Like I said, I really like going around Host Club. I got one of the Pop sign, and I really like Maid Sama. I wish they would make Pops for that. That would be very easy too, because you could have her, and then you can have the main love interest, and then you can have a chase version of her in her maid outfit.
Nice. Yeah, that would be a pretty good pop. While looking at Ore Monogatari, also known as My Love Life, I saw an ad.
My Love Story.
My Love Story. I saw an ad for The Joker, and that reminds me, I totally saw The Joker on, was that Monday or was that Sunday? I think it was Sunday. I saw The Joker, the new one, with,
Cool.
Joaquin Phoenix. And it was pretty good. It's
I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool backstory for the Joker. Yeah, he's interesting. He's kind of cool to follow. He's definitely not a good guy, by any means. I'm very critical of what he does. I'm not really going to spoil anything because it's an interesting enough movie that if you're listening, it's pretty cool to go watch. I will say, talking about the movie, not of the movie, I guess, I've heard it talked about that it's like like will depress you and like will make you go commit violence against public places, which is very wrong, obviously. It's not like that. If you're sane and you go see it, you're gonna like roll your eyes at some of the stuff, but it's very well done and it's a cool story if you can go along with it. I don't believe that it would really play out like it does in the movie, but it's pretty fun. I do feel like we all know those really edgy kind of people that like loved the Dark Knight Joker, and then like people love the Joker. Like weird people like the Joker. Weird people are really gonna like this Joker movie. Like it's fun. It's really good, but I'm wary of anybody who like has like if anybody says this is my favorite movie, I would be really concerned about that person just because of the content. You know that type. Maybe you're that type and you're listening. Don't be the Joker. He's a bad guy. He's not somebody to idolize. Solve your own problems and, don't be the Joker. But he's fun to watch in fiction. So if you can, it's good. It was fun. It was a good movie. And Joaquin Phoenix nailed the role. He's very believable and you can go along with it. He portrays a lot of the theme is a mental illness as well. That's not really a spoiler. And I think now, I will say that I'm not very familiar with a lot of mental illnesses, but I've been around like Tourette's, and a big part of it is he has something kind of similar to that, I guess. But it's pretty believable. You can definitely see from his perspective where he starts and where he ends and how he gets there. It's well written and it's very fun. It's not an action movie though. Some of the people I was with said that they wish there was more action in it. But it's definitely a psychological thriller. It's very slow, and it's very brooding, and it's very psychological. So if you like that sort of thing, I recommend it.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say on it. All right, so how about we move on to our topic?
Yes! I'm so excited. Okay, so for this topic, it's going to be a weird one.
Okay.
But I think it'll be very interesting.
You're going to have to work really hard to get this editing down to an even number.
Oh, dang it.
Has to be like 55 exactly or something like that. 60 exactly.
Yeah, so what we're going to do, in case Jacob's little segue didn't quite match up to your mind, we're going to be talking about numbers. And what got me onto this was that I was talking to some coworkers and we were talking about the volume on a TV. And I come to find out I'm kind of weird about it. And I was like, well, my brother does it. And I was like, that would be an interesting topic to talk about. And I was like, you know what? And I started to think about it. And I was noticing all these different things that I do with numbers. And I was like, we should just do a Don't You Know episode on it. I think it would be kind of interesting. We could see whether or not it goes anywhere or not.
What sorts of things do you do with numbers? Do you add them and subtract them and multiply them and divide them?
So, let's go ahead and do the volume on the TV, since I mentioned it already.
All right.
So for me, when I do the volume on the TV, I do it in like increments of 5. So if I have to turn the volume up, I turn it up either 5, or if I have to turn the volume down, I'll turn it down by 5s.
Why?
I don't know. I just do. Because if you think about it, you never really like turn it down only 1.
I do.
Really?
What if I need to turn it down 1?
What? But to me, it doesn't make that much of a difference in the volume.
Yeah, but
by turning it down only 1.
5's crazy. That's a huge jump. I could see. I would do like if I was. I was already thinking about this because I obviously knew the episode topic, and I was thinking, I was like, man, this is just going to be like an hour of me telling Raquel that she's a weirdo. And no, 5 is so huge. I'll do like where I turn it down like 2, and if that's too much, I'll turn it up 1, or like I'll go down a few and then up 1 or 2, or maybe I don't know. I'm not that particular about this.
Did you try turning your volume up and down to see if you did it in certain patterns though?
Most of the time, I don't even have like volume. Like if you notice, like on YouTube, you've got just a slider. Other video providers are available. Are they really though? There's like just a slider without numbers. What do you do for those?
I don't do anything for those.
Really. You're just fine with them. It's just the numbers.
Yeah, it's only the ones that have numbers, like with the volume on the TV, or I think there was something. Oh, like another one is like my AC unit. Now that one I don't do by 5s, but I do it in even numbers.
Do you want it to be 80 or 75? What about a nice 73? 73 is nice. We can't do a 73.
It's gotta be even numbers. It's gotta be 72 or 74.
I've been turning my volume up and down throughout the course of this recording. I'm gonna check my computer. I'm gonna push the button and see where I'm at. It's out of 100. I was at 66, and I didn't set it. I was just kind of going, and it goes by increments of 2, so really it's like there's only 50 notches. No, I don't really think about that.
No.
And the thermostat as well. I don't really, because in my car it's just little notches. It's not It's not a thing. And my house, I don't know. I usually keep it between 70 and 75.
Okay, here, but how about this one? Okay, when you put your food in the microwave.
Usually a minute or a minute 30.
Okay, see? I do mine based off of, like, increments of 15. I never put it in for, like, 12 seconds or something like that. It has to be, so all right, 15, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute. Yeah.
Unless, if the rest, usually it is a minute or a minute 30 for me, or even 2 minutes. But, yeah, so I am pretty even on the minutes and a halves. But if it says, like, 50 seconds, I'm only going to put it in for 50 seconds. But, realistically, I don't think I've ever heated up something that wasn't, like, a minute or a minute 30. Or in some cases, they're like 8 minutes, something ridiculous. And you're like, is this going to melt or like start glowing? Like, why is this in here for 8 minutes?
Don't you know that the packages only do it in like 30-second increments?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's always only ever been like my breakfast sandwiches I have every day is one side, 1 minute, flip it, 30 seconds.
But see, like, you wouldn't think about that, like, number-wise. Like, we don't do, like, 42 seconds in the microwave. What?
What that really means is that anything between, like, a minute 20 and a minute 50 is probably gonna be fine. Honestly, like, you probably only have to go, like, a minute 10 or something, and you're gonna be good.
But you don't put it in for a minute and 10. You put it in for a minute, or you put it in for a minute and a half.
Well, realistically, yeah, it is. Let me think. I push 1, it starts for a minute, and then I add 30 seconds. So that's 2 buttons. If I want to do 1:30 or 1 anything else, it would be 3 presses. Because it would be like 1:15 or 1:10. That's 3 presses. And then I have to press start. Because the 1 auto starts and the plus 30 auto starts. So I'm cutting my buttons in half by doing a minute 30.
But think about it, just for the fact that it has 30 seconds on there automatically, lets you know that, don't you know, you do your food based off of 30 seconds.
Well, it is half a minute. I mean, I'm trying to think of like, I'm trying to punch holes in this. I'm not crazy.
It could have been 15-second buttons, but everyone just usually does 30 seconds.
Nah, 15-second button.
Never 30 seconds.
Because you'd have to push it 4 times to get to a minute. You ever do sometimes you just hit 30 seconds twice? Nah, halves are where it's at. Halves and holes. Because that's more for me, it's a half and whole thing. It's not like a specifically on the dot. I guess it is.
Oh, yeah. But, well, why specifically 1 minute?
All right. How many times...
Why specifically a half?
do you freak out every time you buy something that's 99 cents? And then you have to pay $1.06? Or, excuse me, you're in LA, it's probably like $1.25 or something.
No, it doesn't freak me out.
Okay. Do you, like, round up? If you're tipping, do you round up to the next dollar? If you're going to do, like, $3 and it would be, like, 307, would you do 307 to even it out?
Yes.
That's okay. I think that's fun sometimes.
I do that. Now, if I'm tipping with cash or whatever, then no, I just give them whatever ones. I don't give them, like, quarters or whatever. Yeah. But if I'm doing my card, I will, unless I'm lazy. If I'm, like, super lazy and don't want to think about it, I'll just add, like, $2 so I could just put, well, depending on how much I'm spending, obviously. But I'll just, like, so that way it's easy math. But if I'm, like, actually kind of, like, sitting down or whatever, I'll round up because I'd rather round up.
2 plus 2 is 4. Minus 1, that's 3. The thing goes skrrr pop. That's a meme. I'll show you later.
Okay. I think another good one when talking about numbers and stuff like that would be kind of, what do you think is the perfect snooze time?
The perfect snooze time? You mean like for your alarm? When you're waking up? Or do you mean like what time do I go to bed?
No, like for if you were to do like a snooze, like hit the snooze button on your alarm. What would be the perfect one? Not what does your phone or your clock automatically do? What would you think is the perfect one? 5 minutes? I think so too. But you know what? My phone does like 9 minutes. I think it's like 9 or 8 minutes, and it bothers the crap out of me.
That wouldn't really bother me so much. I would honestly just round it to 10 though.
Yeah, I wish they had just rounded it to 10. I don't know why they did such a random number. It bothers. That actually really does bother me. So I have like a whole bunch of alarms set. So like it's built-in snooze for me. Like so I don't have to do the 8-minute thing. Because to me that's just a weird number.
It's like the first thing waking up in the morning you have to do math. Let's see, I'm 9 minutes. That's going to be 8:39.
But that's another thing that we do is that we set our alarm in increments of like 15 or 30 minutes.
Nah, for me it's mainly 10. Because I normally estimate when I'm driving across town, stuff is normally, my work is 8 minutes away. If I hit traffic, it's 10. If I want to go across town pretty much in any direction, it's going to be 15 minutes.
So you get up at like, you would get up at like 9, 10.
No, I get up at 8:30. And
that's what I'm saying, like
usually
the snooze.
I snooze around a little. So like 8:35, maybe 8:40.
Oh, okay.
And then I'm up, I get ready real fast, and it takes me 8 minutes to get to work. Although somewhere in that I lose like 20 minutes. And then I'm usually at work around 9:15.
Okay, yeah. See, for me, usually I set 3 alarms. And I have the one time I want to get up. Then I set alarm 15 minutes before that, and then 15 minutes after that. So that way, if I get up earlier, it kind of wakes me up a little bit for that 15 minutes, so I can snooze for 15. And then that last 15 is just in case I sleep through it. Because I'm like super scared about sleeping through. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always the worst. They say you should get like 2 alarms, like a physical alarm clock to have. And then use your phone. Because if your phone dies during the night, or you get a software update that wipes your alarms somehow, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Like half the world would be...
I've had that happen.
If there was an iPhone update or an Android update that caused everybody's phones to reset, or alarms reset, like half the world would be late that day. Because everybody does that. But you should always have a backup alarm.
It's good to have an alarm and then have the alarm not next to your bed. But some people can't do that because they'll sleep through it. But if you have an alarm where you actually have to get out of bed to go turn it off, you're more likely to actually get up with that alarm.
I will say that background information, I have a flexible schedule with my work. So we have business hours, and you have to be within those business hours and work 8 hours or whatever your schedule is. But we can come in whenever we want. So basically, I can get there like as early as 6 and whatever. My point is, if I'm trying to get there at 9:15 and I get there at 9:07, I'm gonna set my Google. I manage everything on Google Calendars. I'm gonna set that back to 9:07 and get off at like 5:37. I do not mind having a non-round number if I get in there around then. I'll slide it back.
No, see, with me, I get in. I do the same thing kind of. I actually get there like about like 5:45, and I don't start working until
5:46. Surely.
No, it's about 6 minutes before 6 minutes before 6, and that's just because I can leave 6 minutes before 2:30 and catch the bus. That's the only reason why. If it wasn't for that, I would start work at either exactly 6 or 5:45 and get off exactly at.
Oh, I gotcha.
But the only reason why for the odd one is because that's the amount I've timed that I can get from my office to the bus stop and catch the bus.
Alright, I'm trying to think of other situations that we encounter numbers like this.
Okay, I have one.
Okay, what you got?
I have lots of these. I got a couple of examples here, so.
All right, Raquel.
I got us.
Her dirty. We were talking about mental instability when we were talking about the Joker. Here's Raquel. She's got. I'm just teasing.
Okay, I'm gonna ask this first before I say what I do.
Okay.
So how old is Jude?
Jude is 20. 20. I wasn't gonna say 21. He's 20.
Okay, how did you know that? Like, did you take his birth year and calculate it, or how did you...
No, it was just his birthday, like the other day. Happy birthday, Jude. It's a little late.
Okay, then how old is your sister?
My sister, she's like 21, I think. Maybe 22. I'm not good at this. You're really throwing me under the bus here on record. I think she's 22. She just turned 22 in October.
Okay. How are you getting their numbers? Like,
because I remember.
How are you remembering their birthday?
I just know where they're at right now.
Okay, this isn't working. Okay, so
are you saying I subtract their date from mine?
Yeah,
that works most of the time. Except there's like 2 months between my sister and me that doesn't work because we're like 2 months apart. And then my middle brother Jude, he's like in the middle of the year, and the rest of us are clumped together. So he's like that only works half the time. Half the time. I'm 6 years older, 5, and the other half I'm 6 years older than him. So I gotta just remember where they're at.
Okay, see, because that's what I do, because my birthday's first, then Nick, and then Frankie's. Chris is in November's. So what I always do is I just subtract how old, like, the difference in my age and their age, and that's how I do it. So for, like, Nick, I subtract 2 years, unless it's March. And I just turned, because I'm only like 2 weeks older than him. Like year-wise, not actual age.
I gotcha.
So within those 2 weeks, that's when we have 3 years I have to subtract 3 years. But other than that, I always just subtract 2.
Nice.
Frankie's born in June. So that's a couple of months, but that's still only like 2 or 3 months. So I always just subtract 10.
You could always just round and say almost 2. Or almost 3. Or whatever.
So it's 2 and 10. So that's how I always calculate their birthdays, is by 2 or 10.
Nice.
And I was just wondering if, like, I was trying to see, because I know you have siblings. And so I was like, I wonder if that's how Jacob figures out how old his siblings are. Is he goes, okay, I am this many years older than this person, so I'm this age.
Sometimes I will do that, but I'm more likely to go for their birth year. Like, I know that my youngest brother was born in 2000, which I know is ridiculous. He's such a baby. And, pretty easy to find out that he's like 19, because it's 2019. So that will always be an easy one.
So, but that's interesting with numbers, though. Is like, I do it based off of how the year's difference I know from my siblings, but you do it actually based off of their year, subtracting from the current year.
Yeah.
I have to do that with my parents, though. With my parents, for me to figure out how old they are, I have to subtract their birth year from the current year. Because I don't actually know what the year difference is between my parents. I guess I could calculate it, but it's not something I know off the top of my head.
Did you say you have any articles for us today?
I do, but I'm going to wait on that.
Oh, okay.
I want to ask this one first.
Well, throw that segue out the window.
How dare you try to segue?
All right. Well, I was trying to think of something else to say, and I don't have anything. I'm trying to think of, like, I was like rounding up the mileage on your car so that you can go get an oil change, but that's basically the same thing. It's just people like rounded off numbers. I will say one time,
they do.
My sister one time, we were talking about something, and she was like, oh, I just go to this because I just like a nice even 5. And I messed with her. I was like, 5 is an odd number, and she was like, you know what I mean. And I did know what she meant. She's talking about basically what we're talking about. I just don't remember what that was.
That's actually a good one. Is gas. When it comes down to gas and putting gas in your car, what number? Stuff like that.
What?
Some people have to put in like exactly $20 of gas or whatever.
Oh my goodness gracious. Those people need to get off the road because they're not paying attention to what's important. If you do that,
I just filled up to the full.
You're wrong.
And there's some people who, like, once their thing like clicks, they keep going a little bit until it goes to
I've heard that's bad
the
because
nearest dollar.
Then it can like run up your pipe a little bit and it can spill out or something. I don't know. Maybe it can't. No, it's probably can't because you put a gas cap in.
Yeah, but they're not like putting like tons and tons of gas in. They're just going up to the nearest dollar.
Yeah, I've heard you go until it clicks and then you're done. And that's all you need. You're good. It's going to save you.
That's what I do too.
If honestly, like if that little tiny splash of gas is what's saving you, then you need to rethink your priorities because that's like a mile. If you're like that might get you like a mile. And if you're cutting it that close, you really need to manage your resources a little better.
Well, they don't do it because of they need every little bit of gas. They do it because
they're freaks. They're OCD and they're
yeah,
they're wasting their energy on this.
So
like I am shouting about it.
And yeah. Okay. So, well, speaking of odd number, because you said that about, odds and evens with your sister or whatever, do you have a favorite number?
I like 7, but I have 9 on one of my usernames, and I kind of like that. I don't really have a favorite number.
I don't really either. But do you have a preference between odd and even? It sounds like you like odd.
I'm an odd guy. I like Odd Thomas. No, I wouldn't say I really have a preference. It depends on what I'm doing. Because some things I might want an odd number so that I can like balance them out. Like if I have like 3 I like 3 a lot. 3 is kind of a nice little thing. So you can put 1 in the middle and 2 in the thirds or whatever. But also like 12 is a good number if you're a programmer and bootstrap a little bit. You can use 12 for like your columns and that because you can divide 12 into thirds and do 3 3 3 or 4 4 4. You can divide it into fourths and do 3 3 3 3. Half, and it's 12 is a pretty good number to work with. So and 10's pretty nice too. I like the metric system. I can work with anything. I don't really have a preference.
For me, I like even numbers. I do like 5s, but mostly I like even numbers because I'm really big like with symmetrics, and to me, even just seems symmetric.
Yeah. What is it about 5 that is so special? Like we have 5 fingers.
Know.
We have 10 fingers and 10 toes, but like 5 is a good number, and it makes like a little star. It's very planted. If you have like a chair with 5 legs, that's a pretty good chair. I mean, 3's not great. 4 is pretty good, but you can still tip in the corner. But 5 is pretty planted.
I think it's because we do everything based off of 10s.
Yeah.
And so 5 is the middle.
But we do a lot of things off of 4s too. We have 4 limbs. Most tables have four legs.
Well, yeah, but when we do stuff with like numbers specifically, we do it usually based off of tens. I mean, you think about it, you have the metric system, which is tens.
That is 10, yeah.
You have, when you're doing when you're first learning your like subtractions and all that, and your additions, it's usually kind of like tens, Use your 10 fingers to kind of do your math and stuff like that. I don't know. To me, everything seems like it's based off of tens.
Unless you're based off of doubles and halves. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64. They go higher.
I don't know. I don't
like Minecraft stacks are like
what
that.
What number was? Oh, yeah, that's true.
And that's really good, too, because it's kind of like the 12 system where you can split it pretty nicely.
I do everything in 5s in Minecraft.
Because 10, you can't really split very nicely. If you want to split 10 into quarters, you're doing 2.5. And now you got a decimal, and now you got 3 syllables to say.
Well, that's why you got, like 5,
If you want to split 10 into thirds, try splitting 10 into thirds. Have fun with that one. Where's your little teeny tiny extra bit go? It's a mess.
Anyways. Okay, so now going into my article.
I think the answer is it depends.
Okay, so this article is from Psychology Today. It is called News. 2 is the girliest number.
2 is the girliest number?
Yeah. By Jonah Comstock. And Jacob's going to look up it and make sure that I pronounce that name wrong.
I got you back, Jonah. Jonah Comstock.
Cool.
Yeah, close enough. Close enough.
Yeah. This article is about a study they did in Northwestern University. And it found that what they did was they took gender ambiguous babies and had people try to guess what gender that baby was.
Okay.
And they found that most people would say that a baby is male if it was paired with an odd number.
Interesting.
So it kind of just goes on to talking about kind of how we kind of put genders with everything. Basically, like your car is a gender. You assign it a gender. And so what they found was that we tend to associate like the number 1 with male traits. And that we associate 2 with like more feminine traits, kind of like, 2, relationship, community, caregiving, and stuff like that. So it makes 2 seem like a feminine gender.
That's interesting. I'm trying to think of like, if I think of a single, like an individual, I'm probably going to picture a man in my head. I don't know if that's misogynistic, but I'm a man, so I'm probably going to picture one person, just random. They're probably going to be a dude. But if I have 2, I could think of a couple, or I could think of 2 men, just like standing next to each other or whatever. I don't know. I think I have to read more into this study. That's weird. That's so weird. Like, I have no idea how I would answer to that. If I just have to guess, I feel like I would just say, I don't know. But you can't answer, I don't know. You have to say, is it a boy or a girl? Number 2's a girl, sure. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what they're saying, though, is like, you would think that you wouldn't find any kind of, evidence to suggest that a number, like, it should be, if they're gender ambiguous babies, results should vary. But they found that babies that were assigned to odd numbers were more likely to be guessed as male. So, I don't know. One thing they said, which this is kind of like a little bit sounds like a stretch. They're like, if you're told to count to 100 in even numbers, it's very easy to do.
Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10.
Whereas if you're told to count to 99 using only odd numbers, it's a little more harder to do. And so they're like
1, 3, 5, 7, 9. It is a little different. I had to think about it, and I skipped 7 when I was doing it in my head. 1, 3, 5, 9.
You skipped it again.
No, I did it on purpose that time.
Oh, okay.
I was demonstrating what I did.
Oh, okay. And so they were like, this kind of, they say that like, when you think about female traits, you think of like friendlier and more comfortable. And so with the fact that even numbers are easier to count, it makes it more friendly or comfier, so more feminine. I know, that sounds kind of like... That
is such a stretch. That's bogus. Yeah. I can definitely see that counting odds are more taxing, but I don't think that... If anything, I think women are more difficult, because they think about stupid stuff like this as your... No. I'm just teasing. And they've all gotten mad and turned off. No.
And now Jacob's single again.
No, I mean, that's an interesting thing. I don't see any graphs here, and I don't see any concrete data.
Yeah. It tells you what the article, it tells you what the study was. It tells you who did the study and where it was studied. So you could probably find actually more information about it. If you had to take a guess, 571, he or she. That's how it starts off. It says, is 571 a he or a she?
It's neither. It's an inanimate concept. It doesn't have a gender. It's a number. That's my official stance. No, it's an interesting concept for sure.
And it definitely would be more interesting to do more, research into it. Maybe not actually supply useful information, but definitely interesting information.
What if you did this with letters? Do they do this with letter? Is A a boy or a girl? Is B a boy or a girl? Is F a boy or a girl?
I think that would depend mainly on how you were raised, because if you think about it, like, you learned B for boy. Okay, so obviously, if you were to do that, you'd probably say B was a boy.
Yeah, I feel like word associations would be the leading factor in those answers.
Yeah, and there's certain ones that people use all the time, like A for alpha. So I would say A is men, because, alpha men.
The first thing I thought was, first thing that came to my head was A for Annie. Now, I had just been listening to Alien Ant Farm recently. Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie? I would say A is a girl.
C for cow. So
yeah, I don't know.
Dog.
I don't know.
Well, cow's gotta be female.
Maybe you just have to picture the letter A. Does that look like a male?
And then look underneath the leg and see what it is.
There you go. Yeah, get the little mirror. No. And moving on.
Okay, I have one thing left.
Okay, I'm still racking my brain trying to get these, but I think that I'm relatively normal. So, man, I've been just roasting this conversation the whole time. I'm sorry. I'm just teasing you. I just, I gotta keep it spicy.
You know what? No, I'm going home now.
It's for the ratings. It's just my stage persona. I'm really shy and nice outside.
He's not. He's really mean.
No, I mean outside all the too. Time. All right, what you got for us?
And then he says it's my fault because I troll him.
It is your fault. You troll me all the time. Look, you've been picking on me since we started. You made fun of everything I have. You made fun of everything I own. You made fun of my clothes. And then you're like, all right, I'm recording. So yeah, sure. Right as I finish crying. No, I'm just teasing.
Oh man, I wish I had one thing and now I gotta try to remember what it was.
Oh, sorry, I went on such a side tangent.
No, I didn't write it down, and I was like, oh, I should write it down. I'm glad I remembered. And I was like, I'll talk about it once we get back from the article. And I was like, I'll remember. And now I don't remember what it was.
What about, do you feel like next year is going to be very satisfying that it's 2020?
So there's lots of factors into that. Remember I did my tarot card reading, and it says apparently next year's going to be awesome. So I'm gonna think about that as it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, but superstitions aside, I feel like 2020 is really satisfying to me.
Yeah, and we're going to Japan, so to me, whether the tarot cards come true or not, I'm gonna go in thinking it's gonna be awesome because you're more likely to have a more enjoyable year if you think it's gonna be good, because you're gonna notice all the good things that are gonna happen. Versus if you think it's going to be bad, you're going to notice all the bad things happening.
Well, that's a lesson for life in general, is if you go about life trying to look for good things, you're going to find them. If you go around life trying to look for bad things, guess what? You're also going to find them. Your perspective goes a long way with how you perceive life. That's a huge thing. And that's why staying positive, smile in the mirror, you're going to feel better because you're going to be looking for it and go out to make it too. I feel like February 20th, 2020 is going to be a really fun day because it's going to be 2/20/2020. And if we had a 20th month, that would be cool, but we don't.
Yeah. I don't know. No. Yeah, no. It still doesn't know.
You don't like February 20th? We should do a recording on February 20th.
I was thinking if we're going to do anything like that, it would have to be February 2nd. So it could be 2/2/2020.
Well, we can do both.
Because 2/20/20/20/20. It's just weird. I don't know. It bothers me. It's odd numbers. It is odd numbers, even though you're using even numbers.
Is my microphone picking up my eye roll? Because they're popping out of the back of my head right now.
Because there's only 1, 2, and then there's 3 20s.
Yeah, but you see, the goal.
No.
The goal isn't a half and half. It's not to be 2 and 2. It's to be 20/20/2020. That's the goal, but that's impossible, so you gotta compromise. My goal is still 20/20/2020.
We could
but I have to do 2/20/2020. I don't want your evens.
Evens, though. We could do 02.
Evens are for girls.
Okay. Oh, what was that one I had for numbers? It was a good one too. Oh, I wish I had written it down. Oh well, I guess it just won't be there.
You know, I bet it would be pretty funny
sad.
if you counted all of the Don't You Knows that we did. I bet we did like 9 or like 11 or something like that.
No, I don't
like
think so.
14.
I think we only did like 4.
Oh, well. Don't you know, we could do 5. Wow, that's the all-star joke of this podcast right there. That was it. Doesn't get any better than this.
You're a goof. Okay. I don't think it's gonna come up anytime soon. I can't possibly think of what it was, and even though it bothers me, I guess we're just gonna have to end it out.
If it pops up in your head, you can write it in the description.
Yeah, I'll have to write it in the description. Put it on Twitter. So, okay, guys. Well, thanks for listening to us. Thanks for entertaining this odd idea that I had. I just felt like it could be interesting. I think it was, for the most part. Yeah, Jacob?
Yeah, I think so too. I got a little bit out of it. I realized my friend's a complete quack.
And you realize you do some things too.
Maybe.
So don't start with me.
You know, interestingly, this, I think, is actually not going to be our 35th episode. I think it'll be our 36th. But that's an even number, so. And it's like 3-6, yep. So that's got its own little thing.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly.
I think that any sequence of numbers can be interesting. Except for pi. Well, pi's interesting in its own way. Ay.
You know, we kind of do it like anniversaries and stuff like that. Like the big ones are usually divisible by 5, usually. Other than the first one.
I don't know. Every anniversary is special to me. If I'm with the most sweetheart, special person in my life, and we get to like 6 years, I'm going to be celebrating that pretty hard, you know?
Well, obviously you would celebrate every year. But like I'm saying...
I'm just saving face right now. This is preemptive brownie points.
But I'm thinking more like, okay, you see like, oh, we've been married for 35 years, woo, it's like posted everywhere.
Yeah.
But like each individual, like, see, look, you just said it's the big one, but each individual anniversary is celebrated, but it's not considered the big one.
Yeah, like I think a golden, what is it, like a golden's 25 and a diamond is, what is a 25-year anniversary called? The silver anniversary.
You know, one thing that we don't do, though, we do weird numbers for, is birthdays.
Birthdays.
And I had such a huge hesitation because I realized I don't want to get into birthdays because I want to do an actual podcast about birthdays. But we do have a couple odd ones, though. Like, you have the 2, which is apparently important. You have, of course, 5. Double digits. 13 because you're officially a teen, and then some celebrate 15, some celebrate 16.
Yeah,
the 18th, 21st.
21st is a big one, and then after 21st, nothing special. It's
the 25th. Done.
Nah, you don't care about that. I didn't care about 25th.
The 40th, and then after
like it's tens.
After like the 30th, it's like the tens. Yeah, maybe 55 because it's like nickels, double nickels. That's what my grandpa used to say. Double nickels.
Yeah. I'm on anniversary.us.com, and it says wedding anniversary by years, and it says 1st, 5th, 10th, 15th, 20th, and it keeps going up by 5s, up until 75th. I guess nobody has made it to their 80th anniversary.
Oh, dang.
Oh, that's kind of sad, actually.
Well, you gotta think about it. If they wanted to get to their 80th, they would have to be married around 20 and live until they're almost 100, around 100, for someone to get to their 80th. That's like already super lucky if you can live to be like 100 years old. Yeah. But 2 people living to be 100 years old?
Yeah.
That met when they were 20?
Yeah, I mean, hey, they might be eating the same food or whatever, on the same fitness regimen.
Yeah, but genetics plays a big part too, though. And what are they? Same siblings? Siblings, so they have the same genetics.
Yeah, right. All right, going real fast through these. The 1st anniversary is paper. The 5th anniversary is wood. The 10th is tin or aluminum. Oh, wait, hang on. I don't know if I'm doing these right. The 5th, hang on, let me see the 25th, because that shit. Yeah, okay, I mean, I'm doing these right. The 10 is tin. The 15th is crystal. The 20th is china. The 25th is silver. That's the one I started on. 30th is pearl. 35th is coral. 40th is ruby. 45th is sapphire. The 50th is your golden anniversary, and that's a really big one. I was at a church, and I saw a couple celebrating their 50th anniversary, and it was really wholesome. It was really sweet. 55th is emerald, 60th is diamond, and it goes straight from 60th to 75. So if you're like, oh, we got 65th, we don't do anything. Oh, we got 70, we don't do anything. You get to 75, and you better be buying her some diamonds.
You're gonna buy diamonds for not the diamond one?
You buy diamonds for a few of these. Yeah, you're buying diamonds for the 60th and the 75th, but everything in between is fine. Fun fact, the price of gasoline, if you were married 75 years ago, was 21 cents a gallon.
Well then.
Yeah.
You can't even get candy from the gumball machine for 25 cents anymore. It's like 50 cents now.
That would have been, let's see, 2019. I can't do this in my head right now. It would have been 1944 you would have been getting married. Right, like, at like, the end of... Wait, was that the end of... Oh my gosh. Why am I...
You know what else uses fives?
What else uses fives? Yeah, you were like right towards the end, but not quite the end of World War II.
Money.
Money uses...
Other than, of course, like pennies or dollar bills, everything's like fives.
Yeah, 5, 10, 25. You get $1. You got... There's a $2 bill, but it's very uncommon, which might prove what we're talking about. You got a $5 bill. Yeah. You got a $10 bill, you got a $20 bill, but no $25 bill. You got a 50 and a 100.
But it doesn't have to be. I'm not saying like in fives. I'm saying like in increments, like they're all divisible by 5.
Yeah.
5 is that magic number, man.
5 is a pretty magic number.
Oh, I remember what I was going to talk about. Yay!
Perfect. Thanks for sticking around, you guys. You've been listening this whole time. You listen to me like list off anniversary. All right, what you got before you forget again?
Okay. When picking a number from, like, 1 to whatever, do you have a certain thing that you, like, a certain way that you pick them out? Like, if I say from 1 to 20, what number are you picking?
From 1 to 20, I'd probably, randomly 13 just stuck out, but...
So you just do randomly?
I try and
whatever you feel like.
I try and do randomly, but I know that it's not a true random, because humans are, like, incapable of true random. So really, I will probably never pick 1 and never pick 20. Because those are at the end. So I'm probably more of like a bell curve and somewhere in the middle. But I don't know.
I'm
sometimes
the top of that bell curve.
But sometimes I'll randomly feel a little spunky and I might pick 20, you know, just to throw it off. But I feel like that's not true random.
I'm picking the middle number every single time.
Every
if it's
single
got a middle
time.
number, I'm picking that middle number.
That's
like from 1 to 20, I'm picking 10.
That's so
picking
boring.
10.
What about from 1 to 19?
Well, then I'm picking either 15 or 14. Because the reason why... They don't normally do odd numbers when they tell you from 1 to 1, whatever. But I'm picking, like, whatever's the closest to the middle. And the reason why is because...
The middle of 19 is not 14 or 15. The middle of 19 would be 9.5.
I know. I'm sorry. I wasn't thinking.
You threw me off big time. I was like, how does that fit your rule?
Well, I just would have been wrong.
I was like, wow, you really... I was about to call you predictable, and then you went with the 14. It's like, man...
You're like, oh, snap. I didn't expect that.
I was like, she's going to say 19.5. I'm going to make her... Or I'm going to break her head, and she's going to say 9 or 10. Right in the middle.
I always pick the middle because, like, especially depending on how many people is also guessing, it's almost like you're doing, like, a 50-50 chance. So if it's between you and another person who's going to guess the closest number, you have like a 50-50% chance of getting the closer number because you picked right in the middle. So if that person picks higher or lower, you still have like all the other half of the number that you're closer to.
That is so incredibly convoluted and weirdly intentional. It defeats the whole purpose of picking a number between 1 and 20. Why don't I just say pick a number between 1 and 1? What if I said pick a number between 1 and 2? That's like getting your friend. That's like flipping a coin using your friend.
That, you know what? That's a good don't you know, though. Don't you know when told to pick a number from a certain number to a certain number, you always pick whole numbers. You don't pick decimal numbers.
Yeah. Pick
Don't you know?
1 and 10. All right, I got it. Was your number 1? No. Was 2? No. It was 7.839. That's it. You're not invited to any more parties. I've got one. Speaking of people who probably don't go to many parties, in software development, typically computers start at 0. And so if you want 1 through 10, you really have 0 through 9. And that's also easier. And I've heard that we should start teaching our kids to do that. Start at 0 because that's only 1 digit. And computers are set up that way because 1 digit is way easier to store than 2 digits is. And so 0 through 9 is the same thing as 1 through 10. but it's only one digit. And
Yeah,
a lot
that
of
makes
time, there's actually a common thing. If your numbers are, if you're like trying to get, let's say you're writing a calculator or whatever, and you wanted to add a couple numbers together and it's off by one, and off by one error means there's a good chance something's doing 0 through 9 and it's starting at 0 and you need to either add 1 to just pull that out of the equation or, well, that's probably what you would do. I'm not a very good developer. I've like done like a tiny bit, but 0 through 9 I think is an interesting numbers thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But that doesn't really work for people because you can't go like, if somebody said, oh, would you count to 10 for me? And you go 0, 1, 2, that person is going to think you're like the weirdest person or going to think you're messing with them.
Yeah. I guess that's all I have.
Yeah, that's all I have too.
You contributed too, Jacob.
Yeah, I got us 0 points.
I also forgot to mention that I got a free Google Home today.
A free Google Home. That's fantastic. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't decided if I'm going to use it or sell it since I got it.
It's not going to work with any of your Apple Suite.
Yeah, it won't. I'll have to say, hey Google.
You could say,
hey Siri.
Hey Google, play Don't You Know on Podbean.
Yeah, I could do that with my phone though.
Oh, okay.
I could say, hey, play whatever on Spotify, and it'll play on Spotify because that's what I listen to all my stuff on.
Now playing whatever.
Whatever. Okay, so thanks for listening to us, guys.
Yeah, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, please subscribe and follow. And send us a tweet at don'tyouknowpod or send us an email at don'tyouknowpod@gmail.com. We would love to hear your feedback. Let us know what you think about this episode because it's probably super, super weird, but I still really enjoyed it.
Numbers is kind of a weird one. I thought it was fun. And if you're, I'm on Podbean right now looking at this and I can go click onto that like button and, well, it tells me to log in, which is kind of a buzzkill, but... likes are fun. I like to be liked.
Send us some of your Don't You Knows for numbers so that Jacob doesn't think I'm the only one that's weird.
She is, though.
I'm pretty odd. Oh well. I make things fun! Yay! Okay, guys. Until next time, see ya!
See ya!